want a new car.
No,
Yeah. Well, I was stuck in a parking
And
lot,
so
so.
on the way back, it started snowing.
Not my fault.
It was like,
Got a new car out of
when I
it,
got back
so.
to the area.
Yeah, it worked out. We're going to the silver line.
And it's snowing, and then it's sun, and then it's cold, and then it's cold, and then it's freezing rain, and there's some weird weather.
Yeah.
Like coming off the Great Lakes.
Yeah, yeah.
But, no, we drove right by the new Buffalo Stadium, and we went right by that, so it's gonna be.
I was right across from the airport.
Yeah.
Took a ride because I needed a store. So 4 Tim Hortons to 1 Dunkin' Donuts in an 8-mile stretch. Tell me you're near Canada without telling me you're near Canada.
That's gonna do it.
Airport had a Tim's.
It's,
Oh, okay. Yep.
So why'd you wreck your new car, bro? What's that?
Why'd you wreck your new car?
It was parked, someone hit it. Got stuck in a parking lot.
Oh.
It had over 200,000 miles on it, though. It was time to get a new one.
Oh, yeah.
But it was,
That's why I always park way over there.
Yeah.
I'd rather walk.
All right.
All right, here we go. I'll call the meeting to order. And just note that Kevin is the only one absent. Hope he's feeling better. We'll move on to 2, approve and modify the agenda. This
Agenda
is
is
the most current.
good. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we adopt the agenda as printed.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Paul, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries. We will move on to 3, approving the minutes of the January 22nd, 2025 meeting. I did not see anything in there that
I'm
needed
sure I have to wait
correction
to get them
or...
out.
No, you're all right.
I
didn't-
make a
didn't see-
motion that we approve the minutes of January 2025.
Okay, motion by Ann, do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Seconded by Pete. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to 4. Public discussion hearings and possible action items. We have a sewer abatement for account number 592, 129 High Street.
Kevin Chassie has requested an abatement on a sewer. It was the trailer that was torn down that belonged to DeShane next to his house on High Street. You know what I'm talking about? When you go past the intersection of Roosevelt on the left-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
So that sewer was capped
Okay.
when the trailer got torn down, but for whatever reason,
It didn't come off the books.
it didn't come off the books. So this is just to pull it off the books.
Okay.
So does Kevin have that property now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kevin has it now, and Rick signed off on it, and Rick knew about it, just for whatever reason, it didn't find its way to get pulled off.
What's the amount?
That's fine.
$1,012.23.
Okay. I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion, we abate the sewer abatement, account number 592 for 129 High Street.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Pete, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to 5, old business. MDOT Planning Partner Initiative on to engineering.
Yep, so we're gonna be talking about something in new business, because we're moving on to we're planning to move to engineering.
Okay,
And we're gonna have to make a commitment here, a bit of a commitment. We'll talk about it when we get there, but
okay,
they're applying for a grant that is gonna substantially assist in the cost of the engineering. We have to make a commitment that we are going to contribute to that as part of the application for the grant. So when we get there, I'll give a little more details about the dollar values and how that money plays.
okay.
But just remember, like, we did have a town meeting to commit to the design, remember?
Correct.
And we have expended about 80,000, but 65,000 of that is being reimbursed. And so once that reimbursement comes, we'll be looking to reapply that back.
Roll that back into the,
Yeah, so we'll go over it when we get there.
okay.
So we need minutes, we need it in the minutes.
No problem.
In new business, so
Oh, okay.
when we get to it later.
All right. We'll move on to B, CDS funding for the fire station.
Yeah, so the bid package has gone back to USDA for approval. We keep going back and forth because there's things in the bid that when Mandy and Tim look at the bid, that stuff that came from USDA, it's stuff we've already navigated. And some of the things they're requiring are, we've already navigated.
Right, they don't apply.
Like one of them was like the BABA,
Yeah,
that was one of them. Then they discovered there was something about making sure that the environment, the soil passed the environmental testing, and if it didn't, it had to go. We've
We already did
navigated
that,
this,
yeah.
we've done this. That doesn't need to be in this language, it's already done.
yeah.
So we're just, it's all been sent back to review and just waiting for it to come back. The USDA has one engineer that reviews these, and there's multiple things out there. And I can see where it can get pretty confusing comparing some of these bid packages. And so, Mandy and Tim are super patient, and they're going back and forth with them, and we should have this in the next few weeks done. That seemed like the only things that were an issue. So we should be in fairly good shape here, and ready to get going forward.
Excellent. All right. We will move on to C, CDBG Community Enterprise Grant.
Kind of the same thing, so that bid package has gone on to CDBG for Terry Ann's approval. Terry Ann's reviewing it. I talked to her yesterday. Well, I've talked to her every day this week so far, I guess. So, about 100 other things. And so, she's going over it. She says everything right now looks good. We just gotta make sure that we're well coordinated with DEP, who has approved us to tear down the building without removal of asbestos, that we can remove it as a whole. Once we're spraying it down, so it's just coordinating with county abatement to make sure that that's ready to go and all the environmental's ready to go, so. Terry Ann didn't see any issue with what was in the bid, but she says I'll fine tooth comb it, make sure everything is good.
Good.
So, I'm anxious for that
Yes,
to be done.
absolutely. Yeah, I think the minute that we get a date scheduled for that, I think there's gonna be a collective cheer that goes out from the entire town.
Yeah.
Time to get her down.
All right, we will move on to D, Drexel University Grad Project.
And so once again, I need people for tomorrow night for the Drexel project,
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Yep.
If you guys are available.
How did that other meeting go? I wasn't able to attend
Yeah,
the
it
Zoom
It
meeting.
went very well.
Yeah.
So you had enough folks?
Yep,
Okay, good.
yep. And I think they'll do another one, but bigger. And it sounds like in an email today with Grayson, Scott's intentions are, so what happened, Scott had reached out to me before this project and asked if I knew of another community that would be willing to work on a capstone project with a different student from that class. And that's for the Georgetown class. And so I suggested St. Agatha, because Michelle's really great out there. And I thought Michelle would give her time to them doing a rebranding. And so there's 2 students that are working on Aroostook County projects. And they were informed by Scott that he wants to take their program books when they're completed and have them published as a project paper like I did, as a published paper.
Oh,
And
nice.
so, they think that it's gonna help us grant funding wise as well, to help assist us move forward with some of the projects. And it'll definitely help, them in their careers.
Absolutely.
Grayson already works for Georgetown, like for them, she is their person in multimedia, so. But she thought it'd be really great for her career. So,
Excellent.
it's good. So this particular meeting, though, is with Drexel's Design Studio, which is working on the interior design work of the former town office and
Oh.
the connectivity hub area.
Yep.
So that's what they're That's what this meeting is about, to discuss that project. I have a project sheet that I will send out to everybody of what, the hopes and dreams are for that project. It's the same repertoire I use in every grant that I'm writing for that project, so just to make you, bring you up to speed where we're going with that. And then we're gonna talk about something else about that later on in the
Awesome.
Okay, are we gonna be meeting here, is it a Zoom or meet at
No,
home?
you can meet from home, I'll send the link.
Okay,
I'll
good.
send the link.
Yeah, great.
Perfect. All right.
And that's a big class. I think there's 20 people in that class.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So that's a big class, there's a lot of people in that class. And then, in a couple of weeks, or in a week, the class is actually presenting this project to Drexel. It's been open to all faculty and anybody who wants to attend. It's like a big invitation to come see what the design project is working on. So that'll be kind of fun. I'm in that, it's part of their, what they call Studio C Design Studio. So it's like their mid-semester review of what they're working on.
Nice.
Which is really cool, so that'll be fun, and I'll send that out too if anybody interested.
Mm.
They're not gonna be asking us to talk, it's just to be part of the audience if we want.
Just to see it. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, no, Paul, no, you are especially new to that. I already forwarded your name and email. Matter of fact, I requested the video not to be live. But it's pretty exciting, like, the thing about these partnerships and relationships are that they are getting a lot out of it, we are getting a lot out of it.
Yeah.
And when they're showing the same excitement that we are, that resonates across the whole university structure for them, so.
Yeah.
It's something that's really, I'm really happy about it, and it's created other stuff for us, so we're pretty lucky.
Excellent. Yeah, we absolutely are. Awesome. Okay, so we move on to new business. 6A, recreation and travel business admin.
Yeah, so just following up what I was just talking about, I saw on LinkedIn that a professor of outdoor recreation from University of Maine at Farmington was looking for organizations that their students could work with in relation to an outdoor recreation problem that they may be trying to navigate.
Well, isn't that convenient?
So I immediately reached out to him and said, I'll be submitting an issue for the town of Van Buren and the Gateway Snowmobile Club, but it really resonates across all the snowmobile clubs in the north, that we are, this is the second winter that we've gotten hit with this lack of snow, and we need a plan B. We need to come up with a plan B. If we don't get snow in a third season, I'm really concerned about more restaurants and entities up here closing, like, they can't endure another winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another blank winter.
It kind of brought forth I sent a message out to the Snowmobile Club guys last Friday and said, I realize I'm not an officer and I'm not a groomer and I'm just the manager and I'm a club member, but I really think we need to get out there and pass the groomer at least once on our trails and sign them, because I'm on them and people are riding them, and they're gonna end up on private people's property. And they're not gonna blame the snowmobile, they're not gonna blame the person, they're gonna blame the snowmobile club.
Yeah.
Like, we at least have to roll the groomer over and put some signage up so people know where they're going, because people are riding,
Yep.
So, they ended up grooming Saturday some, they groomed Tuesday, I think, and now they're gonna groom after Thursday night, like in Roller All Out, get it all signed up. They've done one pass and kind of just panned along, that's kind of what everybody's doing, like, just to make sure that,
Well, you gotta be careful too, because if there's not enough snow, you can damage the equipment.
The drag and the,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
So,
It's just,
You know, it's-
hopefully after.
Hopefully Thursday,
This little
we'll
Thursday.
get enough.
it'll help, yeah. And my thinking is, honestly, like, all those years that we have been dependent on things in the north here,
Yeah.
that suddenly went away, and then it took us years to figure out how to recover. And if that's the direction we're going in right now, let's cut it off.
Right, let's have a plan in place.
Let's cut it off
Yeah,
at
let's
its
stop,
feet,
yeah.
and let's
Yeah.
start thinking about other outdoor winter activities
Well,
we can grab a hold of that may not be snowmobiling. that we
Well,
think
here's
would be
my,
better to do.
here's my thought. And I guess I've had this kind of in the back of my mind because of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We have the trails,
Hmm?
they're there. If there's not enough snow to ride snowmobile, groom them flat, either with the groomer or some other means, and leave them open for the 4-wheelers.
Which is what we're talking about, what we've been talking about.
Because
with-
Canada's 4-wheeler trails are open year-round.
They are.
You can go over there right now with your side-by-side
Yep,
and go 4-wheeling on the trails.
They're
They're separate from the snowmobile trail.
Correct.
yeah, they share the bridges. The
Yes.
trails all meet at the bridges, and then they go their own way.
Right, so even though ours aren't separate, if it's a matter of there's just not enough snow to snowmobile, which the last couple of years, that's been the case, then why not let the ATVs use those trails even in the
That would
winter?
have to be a state thing? Would that have to come
Yeah,
from the
if you
state?
state, and then a discussion with Irving. It's Irving that kind of says, kind of,
Right.
part of that.
Right,
But I think, I've talked to a couple of community leaders, we're gonna plan a meeting to kind of sit down together, put all our heads together and say, okay, let's see where we can go with this. And Farmington's gonna have another one of these classes, it's like one of the classes it's like a every semester class. So try to get some of the other ones involved in this too. And just see if we can't come up with some backup plans here. I hate saying plan B, but we gotta have a second plan.
yes.
We have to have another, something that we ought to start
We
thinking
gotta
about
have another
anymore.
draw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
so, and I do have a couple ideas that I'll share with them and see what happens, but,
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's important to think about.
to add to that, it's not just the snowmobile clubs and the dealers and the restaurants and stuff, it's even the plow people.
Everything, it
Everybody.
trickles down
The plow
to
people.
everything.
The automotive stores are selling parts to the plow people that they're not breaking, and these
Yeah,
parts are
no,
sitting
it-
on shelves. And
Yeah,
it's got a real big, other than the fact that we just don't see the snowmobiles,
Yeah.
it's got a ripple effect everywhere with
huge,
everything.
huge. Any of our dealers that sell anything for snow blowers, any of those things,
Yep.
if you're not using your snow blower, you're not breaking it.
Mhm.
So they're not repairing anything, which is really where the money is for
Yeah.
them. It just has such a huge effect. And we gotta figure out maybe something else that helps draw in some revenue through tourism, because the winters are long. Even if there's no snow, the winters are long.
We used to ride sled, I remember in the middle of December, we were
Oh,
riding.
we were
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
And, you go by Holton Power Sports and there's a mountain of snowmobiles there.
Yeah,
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 everybody,
yeah.
So,
all the dealers.
yeah, it is, I'm hoping the rest of the season, like last year, it was awful. February, March, the whole
Yeah.
season was awful.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping with this snow coming, if it stays cold,
Yeah.
it'll stay, and I think the snowmobile, you'll have a short season, but at least the snowmobiles will pick up a little bit. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
When I went to Lakeview Saturday, there was probably 15 sleds out there at lunchtime.
Yeah, there's usually 100.
Oh, it's probably 200.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I went to leave, there was probably 20.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's.
And that's the only place to go up there now, because the
It
golf
is.
course closed.
It is
Right.
the
Yeah.
only place to go.
So, used to have Sporting Club, used to have Burt's, used to, back in the back
Yeah.
we were
And they were all
all,
packed.
well, we were all over.
And they were
the place.
all packed.
And they were
They're all
all packed.
packed, yeah.
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 Yep.
It hurts, so we just gotta start looking at.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right,
I mean,
and-
Even the
I'm all
snowmobiles.
about being proactive,
the
because
ATVs now.
everything that we do is reactive, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if we can be ahead of the curve on this, let's get ahead of the curve, because like you said, our tourism industry isn't gonna survive another winter
No-
with
no snow.
no snow.
No.
But it's gonna have to come from everybody. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Right,
saying? It
right,
can't just
right.
us.
And I understand that it's not a town by town issue, whether you're gonna use the trail, it's a state issue. But if every town up here says, hey, listen, this is our plan and this is what we have we then the state
Yeah, we need your help.
would be foolish to
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, and maybe
fall in
the
line and
state
say,
would
hey.
help kick in to build some trails explicitly for winter ATV travel.
Something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because a lot of the trails are shared, you know what I mean?
Right,
But if you could have separate systems, that would be good.
Yep, yep.
Good thinking.
So that's what that is. I'm going to Farmington on the 18th to meet with them in person,
nice.
and then, I'll be back, that's right after President's Day. So, and then the next group will be a Zoom, and I'll get everybody involved in that to discuss
Good.
that, so.
Good. Awesome. Okay, we will move on to B, Katahdin Trust credit card application.
So I know I've complained about this 150 times, about our credit card getting jammed up because it's being, some of our charges get flagged as possible scam or fraudulent charges.
Yep.
And I've called all around trying to figure out how to just maybe get a different credit card in case ours gets hooked up. And just to give an example, we had an ambulance that went on a run down to Bangor. They went to go eat at Chili's or one of those places, Arby's, Applebee's. Applebee's, is that what you call it?
Yes.
Yeah. They went to Applebee's to eat, they used the card.
Yeah.
Between Applebee's and the gas station, the card got flagged as a possible fraudulent charge. So they get to the gas pump, they can't put gas in the ambulance with our card.
Wonderful.
And then we had another occasion, yesterday, where because the card got jammed up again with a possible fraudulent charge that says Ubiquity, which is our phone system, which we have been paying with that credit card for 2 years, got flagged as a possible fraud charge, and the phone didn't ring here all morning. Because they shut the phone off.
Pay the bill.
Oh, my God.
So, we can't deal with that anymore. We just can't deal with that anymore. It's driving me insane.
Okay.
And so, in discussions with Katahdin, I've called around to all the different banks to talk about possibly getting another credit card. And, in my discussions with Katahdin, they're like, Luke, why don't we just extend your credit amount? We'll disperse it among 2 different cards with 2 different numbers. That way, if you have a card that is being flagged as an issue,
The other card will still work.
The other card will work, and then we can go back and square off that issue with that card. So on the weekdays, I can easily call the Katahdin branch here, and they can go to our charges and check them off as okay. But on the weekends is where the issue is. That up until about a month ago, I wasn't even getting text messages or anything telling me that there was a possible fraud charge. So when I got one about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was on the weekend, I got the text message, I hit valid
Accept.
charge or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They immediately called me to talk to me about it. When I gave them the phone number that I have, they said that's not the phone number associated with the account. I'm like, it's the phone number you called me on. It's the one you called me on.
How is it not associated with the account?
So it's just, I had a long conversation with Craig Staples. I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Fix this, or we have to do something different. So
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with it anymore. So this is the solution. So we're gonna extend our credit card, credit to 30 grand. It's already 20 grand. And we're gonna separate it as $15,000 on each card. Like the guys went to go get the fire truck and they took the credit card with them. I was scared to death to use the card numbers anywhere else.
Oh, right.
And people, Rick is coming to me, hey, I need to order this, can I have a credit card? You can't use it until the guys come back. I don't want them to get stuck. So it's that kind of thing. I wanna avoid that. If we're gonna take a trip, you gotta go take a trip or do something, we'll have that other card to use. And then worst case scenario, if something happens, at least, you know, back here at the town office, we have that one good card that we don't have to worry about, so. Well, all it is, Paul has the sample minutes, and he'll have to rewrite them a little bit, but it's just to approve the increase in the credit line, to add an additional card, and authorize me to sign the documents with Katahdin to extend that credit line. That's all it is. So-
Yeah, no, that only makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Because in this day and age, I mean, you can't fault them for seeing a charge that they don't recognize, although the phone service that we've been paying for over 2 years probably should not have been flagged. However,
Now, I'm not saying we haven't gotten hit either, because
Right, we did.
somebody tried to book a plane ticket on Alaska Airlines.
oh, nice,
So, you know, it does happen, it does happen.
right?
And I was able to, you know, tell,
Head it off, yeah.
unless somebody's taking a trip that I don't know about, that's fraud. So they cleared that card. So, but, you know, now we just gotta move.
It was a little nerve-wracking, because like when we put diesel in the truck, I mean, you're talking $150, $200 a whack.
Yep.
And then I'd go right back, and, you know, every other time we had to fill the car up. So I'm like, man, I hope this isn't. And so I did no processing, so it never let us down, but I didn't use it in Canada.
So they're telling me once your card, like, we've had that same card number for a long time. Once that card number gets flagged as, you know, susceptible to fraud charge, it gets ranked higher and higher and higher, so any little thing starts to.
Yeah, so you're better off to.
So to get a whole new card number, start fresh, I think is better.
Yeah.
At this point, after the phones got switched over, everything else has been switched over to the new card, so.
Good.
We have a new card number, and now we'll have another new card number that is divided up between the two.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Great.
Yeah, no, again, proactive thinking, I like it.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I will make the motion. And I'll need a second, and then I'll read out what my motion is, so that it's an official, the bank needs this
Yep, okay.
particular verbiage.
So, motion by Paul, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ann.
Okay. So, motion by myself, seconded by Ian, to allow the town of Van Buren to establish a corporate credit card from Katahdin Trust Company in the amount of $30,000 to be used for working capital. Also, this motion gives Luke Dyer, town manager, permission to sign any required documents on behalf of the town. And then we just need a vote.
Okay, all those in favor? Motion carries.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay,
Okay.
we will move on to C, MDOT Village Partnership Initiative.
Yeah, so, the DOT wants to apply for a grant to cover the engineering for Fort Kent, Madawaska, and Van Buren. What they need from us is we're not making a commitment of the dollars right now to set aside. What we're saying is, we will commit to this amount of money. If they get the grant, then we will have a meeting to appropriate the money.
Okay.
That make sense? They just need us to say, yes,
It's
as
a
a
go.
board, we are saying, we will take this to the people and commit to the funding if they get that grant. And so one of the things that we're looking at though, like our commitment is about $150,000.
Okay.
Right this second, if we took the maps and designs as they were presented to us,
Okay.
we're gonna small up our footprint in that original plan to bring the dollar value down. Because ours was like 15 million, and I'm not sure that we need to go all the way to the town office with curbscapes, and I think we can do that in other projects. We can do it piece by piece to save us a little bit of money, And I think the main focus, our main focus would be better served in the downtown from Grant Street up to the clinic. That will save us some money. What also will save us money is that amount also includes the Grant Street Park, that amount is part of the trail system, that amount is part of the amphitheater. It's a lot of different little side projects mixed into the one big project, which we are navigating now separately. It's gonna take them out of that piece anyway. So that's gonna help us as well. So I think if we, when the rubber meets the road, if engineering is around 15 million, if it becomes a $15 million project for us, I think that is probably the best route to go, is to appropriate 150,000 when the time comes. However, 65,000 of that is already coming in reimbursement from our design work. So really, we're gonna go to the town asking for 85,000 when the time comes, if they get the grant. So, and it could be less, because we could find other grants to cover some of this as well, so.
And will that count towards some of our,
That's our match, that's.
that
part of
would be that would be our total match?
Part of our match, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And the side projects, can we apply that
Yes.
to that
Yes,
match
because
as
they're
well?
in the original VIP.
Perfect. That's what I was, or VPI.
VPI, they're in the original VPI.
So that's what I was concerned about, if we
Yeah.
pull those pieces out, will they still count towards that?
We're navigating them on our own, like they were in the original plan,
Uh-huh.
and we are funding those through different sources. So they actually stay in the plan, but we are funding the projects through other grants.
I have no problem with that. So, I mean, we'd be focusing more on our downtown,
Yeah,
and then get that done. And then, which is our goal. I mean, that's been our
Absolutely.
goal from day
Yeah.
one. And then we could focus on, you know, the sidewalks or whatever further to Champlain Street or whatever at another
Yeah.
time. And I think we could get different funding for that,
so Jared and myself and Don Ettinger, who is the guy from Grill Palmer,
Okay.
we're gonna be meeting in the next week or so about this. And Jared and I were supposed to meet tomorrow with the Reconnecting Communities Institute, because, and that's that group that I talk about, that are one of 30 communities in the country.
Yes.
So they have funding too, like part of this process is that they're taking us through phase 1 and phase 2, phase
Yep.
3. So there may be funding through RCI or an avenue of RCI to fund the rest of this project that does not conflict with our VPI. Because you can't you can't always match federal funds.
Right.
But part of some of these projects through RCI, you can use federal matching funds. So it's navigating that and being able to work our way through that. Jared was gonna meet with me tomorrow, so that we could talk about that, so everybody was on the same page, so we all understood what things that we should not touch on, so that we don't hurt ourselves.
Right.
For example, if I get a federal grant for the amphitheater, let's say, it's 200,000. Well, it is possible that that could change the amount that we would be responsible for in a match towards the $15 million redevelopment.
Right.
So
You
instead of
got
the-
this extra money now,
Right.
you're responsible for more of this project.
Right. And we don't want to do that.
Nope.
That's a bad plan.
Right.
So it's just, I wanted Jared and Diana, her name is, to be able to discuss this, because they both know the programs and they know what the conflicts may be. But they canceled our meeting yesterday on their end.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to send me a new update, and Jared is gonna jump in on a Zoom so we can all be on the same page, because we all wanna understand this. We want clarity so that we don't step on our own feet.
Yep.
So-
No, that makes sense.
So what I need from council is just, you're not appropriating money.
We're just saying.
Just saying that we're committing to the engineering. If the grant is approved, up to $150,000.
Get that, Paul?
And Madawaska's gonna have to do the same thing, and Fort Kent's gotta do the same thing. So,
So I mean, my opinion, if the three communities are going in on this together, chances would be better
that's what they think.
that.
That's what
Like,
they
you
think.
know what I
By grouping
mean?
the projects together instead of having to each
Your
individually
chances
fight
of getting
amongst
that
each other.
funding would
And they
be-
really weren't thinking, they really weren't planning on doing it this year. They were gonna do it next year, that part next year.
Yeah.
But somebody has come to them and said, we need to get the three of them in this year. So somebody is telling them.
In the know,
It would
saying,
be
be
a wink,
proactive.
wink, no, it'd be a good idea
Yeah.
to get this in this year, like the odds are.
Okay, that works in our favor.
There you
So,
go.
I don't
That's
think-
a
that's
easier, quicker for us, so.
I do think. it's-
Absolutely. Paul, you all set, bud?
I think I got it. Okay, I'll read this back to you, and we'll go from there.
Sure.
Okay, the town of Van Buren, oops, is committing to the engineering fee dependent upon grant approval. Van Buren commits up to $150,000. Does that read right?
Do we need to include in there where it's
You need to-
going to,
Yeah.
or who it's for, or what it's for?
Yeah, I would say it was for the Village Partnership Initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards the engineering.
And DOT, Village Partnership Initiative. Engineering commitment. And you've got the rest of it
Yep.
spot on.
Okay, got it.
All right,
Perfect.
that's Paul's motion, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Pete. All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to D, fire and ambulance dispatch contract.
Yeah, so just like the invoice for the fire ambulance contract, and I was expecting a very large increase, because that was a discussion that was happening, but it's just a little over $1,000 more. So it's not what I was expecting at all. And it's budgeted. So I kinda knew what it was gonna be, and I budgeted for it, so it's already in the budget.
Perfect.
So it just needs signature from the council to agree to it, but
Okay.
it's really, no matter what, it's still less expensive than if we went back to state police.
Right.
And I don't think it's unreasonable, it's $8,043. So,
Yep.
For,
Do we,
ambulance and fire.
okay, effective,
It's really for June. It's really for, it's due on the February 28th, but it's for the
Next
first through
year's.
June 30. It's the second half. it's what it
okay,
is.
so effective. When does it do?
It's due here, but I don't think that's really an issue. It's the contract itself. that-
Annual contract,
It's the annual contract. that we do every year.
that works.
doesn't have to be, I mean,
Right.
okay.
Specific dates.
1/1/25, June 30.
That's because they changed that year, but the next one is gonna be the
Right.
two different years combined. So.
Okay. Got it.
All right, I'll sign
All right, I'll leave that for signature.
that. All right.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the fire and ambulance dispatch contract in the amount of $8,043.56, effective 1/1/2025 to 6/30/2025.
I'll second that.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to E, council meeting request change from February 19th, 2025.
Yep, so I'm not here on the 19th. And we could either change the meeting to the 20th, it's a Thursday.
Okay.
Or if there's really nothing earth-shattering, I could send an email that explains
Updates,
where we're
yeah.
at, what the updates are. If we have nothing that really needs,
Yeah.
you know, immediate voting, it's up to you guys.
Play by.
Yeah.
We'll wait in
We'll wait.
the.
We don't have to have,
No.
by charter required, now we're only required to have one meeting a month.
Yeah. So if we don't have any pressing business,
Yeah,
and if we come across something that we have to, we can always
We can always.
schedule a Zoom meeting.
and there may be, like when we, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 grants applications going out in February, and they may need signatures.
Some kind of, yeah,
Yeah, so.
slacker.
The only thing I ask
Just
is,
go off this year. I'm keeping it.
Would you do some work? I mean, come on.
the only thing I ask is, we gotta start talking budgets,
Yes.
Yeah, I
Not
already started
distant
going
future.
through the budgets a little bit,
so,
so.
and I'd like to discuss that in detail this year.
Yeah.
But other than that, grant away.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
So yes,
So I'll send an email out, we'll decide.
Let us know
If
what's
there's
what.
anything like absolutely needs signature and a vote, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Looking at them right now, the only one that really would really possibly need signature is a CDBG grant to do facades downtown.
okay.
Just let us know.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, you can just have to pop in and sign it.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them require like it to be in the minutes
Okay.
and that's just a request, like if Paul, if you can get the minutes out, like if the day after the meetings, cause a lot of these require that I immediately send that stuff out,
Right,
minutes
okay.
with it.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, just kick them out as quick as you can.
Yep.
It helps so that I don't have to, you know,
Right.
wait. I like getting these grants in early, cause
Yeah.
when they start
First
stacking
in,
up, you got
first
2 or
out.
3 do at the same time, you wanna make sure that you've got them all in.
All right.
This gonna interfere with my snow building?
No. Especially not this year.
Certainly not this.
If you take up curling, Paul.
Curling,
it
you
could-
may- curling.
It could affect your curling a little.
There's always the club in Grand Falls. It's a wonderful
Yes, it's still
establishment.
going. It's still going. Yeah,
I'm ashamed to say that I haven't curled in a few years, but.
I would actually like to try that.
Me too.
Not with the hips you
I
got.
know.
Deep plunging move.
His feet go either way.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to 7, town manager's report.
Yeah, so just to give you some updates on a few projects, so I had a really good visit today with Melody York and Steve.
Oh, good.
And Melody is going to be kind of taking the reins of the community garden. We're gonna do it together, but she's gonna take the reins. Steve is a bee whisperer
No.
and has been racing bees for like 18 years.
Look at him smile.
I am thrilled. He's thrilled.
What do you mean, you're not gonna be our head bee
Oh,
keeper?
no, I'm gonna be part of this, but
I still want to see who gets down.
Steve doesn't even wear a veil or nothing, like he's done this
So he's
so
on it,
long.
yeah.
He knows exactly what needs to, how it needs to be
Well,
done.
that helps us big time.
I gave him a list of what we ordered, he said, everything you've ordered is exactly what you need. I gave him the list of anything else, like, let me know now.
Yeah.
We still have about $18,000 or $19,000 left from that grant, which is for signage, some of the gravel setups, and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but I think we have more than enough to completely finish that project without any issue. So it's really good, like I was, honestly, God, I felt like a bulldozer drove off my back, because I'm like, I'm excited about the bee thing, but, you know, it's still bees. But Steve's been doing this for years, and he been trying to figure out how to do it here, but they haven't really got the space, and when I was talking to Melody, she goes, oh my God, you gotta talk to Steve, Steve will be thrilled. So he came over and they're both like, yeah, let's make this
Nice.
special. So
That's great.
it's good.
Awesome.
JD and I are signed up for the National Main Street Now Conference in Philadelphia in April. The stars have not aligned for us. There is not a professional sports team in Philadelphia. The entire world over there.
What are the chances?
Oh my God,
Well, so I guess we'll be going around to the breweries after that. The Maine and Water Sustainability Conference has asked me to speak at the conference, so I'll be presenting at that conference. And I did a little bit last year, but this year it's really to give a full 15-minute talk about the community garden project.
Oh, nice.
And what how it's what kind of resiliency project it is. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
The Et Cetera building is being cleaned out next Thursday. So we had $9,000 left from that lightning grant.
Mhm.
So we're gonna get everything, all the garbage removed from there, so we can get in there and do a building survey, figure out exactly what we need to do in there, and then we could get the rest of that project on the road.
Nice.
So, I'll talk to you about the several grants by name and how much they are for. In executive session, we talked through economic development. But that project is going to move. We are the first lightning grant that they gave out of that program, the
Nice.
first one. And they did a news release that they sent out. I saw it yesterday, but they sent it out today to news agencies, and I forwarded it to Chris, so he had it. So,
Excellent.
Another time that Van Buren is
Leading the way.
leading the way in a new planning project. And just so for anybody that's watching, that's just what makes that main redevelopment land bank so important, is that typically a building in the state of that building, we would have looked to tear it down. And we had that conversation in this room,
Yes. Yes, we did.
that this building was potentially too far gone to be worth trying to save. But the goal of the redevelopment land bank is to quickly fix those structures and protect them, because it is a historic building. And to make sure that not all these things go into the tear down stage, so that, there is money. And the lightning grant they gave us was just to slow down the potential
Right.
further
Water
decline.
damage and- right.
There'll be other funds available to us to help in its redevelopment. So I think it's a really good project. It fits in with our goals to create a place for people in the town to meet and to have experiences. And I'm excited about that project. And I actually talked, so there's a new art center in Fort Kent. It's called River something, Riverland or River.
Yeah, so I think you wrote an article about it.
Yes, I did,
What is it
yeah.
called, Chris? River?
Let's report you.
It is River something. Yeah, River something.
I talked to the director of that organization today.
Rivertown?
Rivertown.
I think Rivertown.
Rivertown Art Center.
Nice.
I had an awesome conversation with her today. She attended a Maine Arts Commission webinar that I was a speaker in. And she said, I saw your email, I was so excited to talk with you today. And I said, although to the people in southern Maine that think we're very close together, we're not that close together.
Right.
And I said, have you thought about the possibility of doing peer-to-peer art classes? That maybe your center could help us here by providing, through peer-to-peer conferencing,
Mhm.
things here. And she goes, I have thought about that, and I haven't figure out how to navigate that. I said, well, I think we should navigate that together. And do you have instructors that may be willing to come down here as part of separate projects being put on by the town of Van Buren? That we could either hire them through your organization or hire them directly through grants, some of the grants that we'll be talking about. And she said, oh my God, yeah, absolutely, like this. She goes, when I developed the center in Fort Kent, it wasn't for Fort Kent, just Fort Kent. It was, I wanted to cover the valley. And she said, this is an opportunity to make that happen. So I think it's a developing partnership that will benefit us both ultimately in the end. Last night, they offered, and they've only been operating for 4 months. 4 months. Last night, they offered their 100th session.
Wow,
Busy?
awesome.
So it is really, it's really working for them. And it's a nonprofit, it's a private nonprofit, it's a nonprofit. So it's not like part of the municipality, it's something that she's from Fort Kent, she, moved to southern Maine, was in Bar area, came back to Fort Kent and wanted to do this. So I think her vision and my vision are about our town and the valley are pretty much in line. And I think it'd be a good relationship going forward for all communities up here, so.
Good.
So that's the old et cetera building future, hopefully.
Nice.
And everything else I have is really economic development in executive session, just to cover the grants and who they are and what the applications are for, and get the board's approval, so.
All right. We will move on then to 8 town councilors' reports. Pete?
Yeah, as Luke stated, we picked up our new used fire truck. Unbelievably surprised. This thing is just an amazing piece of apparatus. And what made it even more amazing is, I think I had mentioned, they had asked if they could throw equipment on the truck. And I said, you can throw whatever equipment you want on the truck. So after the meeting, if you guys will, I'd like to show you this thing. They easily put $20,000 of equipment on that truck. Wow.
And not junk.
So, yeah, it's all nice stuff.
Oh,
So
wow.
the new trucks, these, that they were getting they're getting $2 million trucks, you know what I mean? Their new stuff is just phenomenal. All these trucks are phenomenal. But anyway, we were walking around the truck and I was looking at Mike, he's like, I said, yeah, I said, Justin, he goes, yeah, this is all yours, everything. Wow. So it was jaw-dropping, we were floored. So I'd really like to show you guys what they included with this truck.
Absolutely.
It's all top-of-the-line
Field
equipment.
trip.
So after the meeting, if you guys want, we'll take 5-10 minutes and
I'd love
it's
to.
all set up. We're not in service yet because we want the guys to drive it and, just be familiar with it, but, and it's a big truck. So, but we're gonna be in service here really quick, so.
Sweet.
Anyway, and, that's all I have.
Excellent. Ann?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Paul?
Believe it or not, I have nothing.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Just quickly, I know we had discussed it, I don't know, a couple meetings ago, talking about maybe a community calendar.
Yeah,
And I know that's, technology-wise, we don't really have anyone to take the bull by the horns on that. But I think between VBRA and positively Van Buren, I think there's still, because people, not everyone is on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think the message isn't getting out.
but I don't know, where are you gonna put that calendar if they're not on Facebook? That's the thing.
They can get on Facebook. You know what I mean? The sites, like the town site, I can go on my computer and look at it, so I mean,
Right.
Where else are you gonna, I mean, this is the day and age we're in, you know?
Yeah.
Personally, I don't have a Facebook account, but I mean, it works well when you're, like, fire department in town, I mean, you're
Right.
revitalization, people can go there and look at it at any time, all you need is your cell phone, so there's.
I've been looking for
type it in
to
and
get a
go
new
look at it,
sign,
you know?
to get rid of that damn sign.
Right.
What's that?
I've
To
been
get a
looking
new
for
sign.
funding to get a new sign.
Yeah.
A one that is a 16:9, that you
Digital
can
sign.
actually see, that is not that thing that we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that thing is just ridiculous.
That's more eye level.
Yeah,
than
one that you
having-
can read, that is,
Right.
the new technology is not, 100 LED lights in a big, 4x6 square.
Yeah.
The new ones are, like a TV, like a television
Yeah.
like this, that you can see from afar. And that's really what we need to have centrally located, that would have that kind of thing. I'd like to get a kiosk is what I like, so that, we can even have the snowmobile trail maps in it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That, they could scan a QR code off it and get it right on their phone I've been looking and watching for some of these things. Sometimes they pop up and you'll see them as available and you can use them for, whenever I see wayfinding, that's what I search for a lot, wayfinding
Yep.
grants. Because that's what ultimately it is, wayfinding.
And I agree, I think our best place would be right up front here,
Yeah, either right here or.
because that's where people, they're gonna.
Or the center of downtown.
Or the center of
Well,
downtown, yeah,
That too, maybe at the rehab,
yeah. So,
The community connection hub out
Yeah,
in
that's
front
not
there,
what
or
I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
if not that spot in particular, the opposite side of the street, where that huge blank wall is,
yeah,
between the old bank and the old FHA building.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
The only reason why I say that is because
So you could have your
as
kiosk.
long as you could update it from
Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah, from wherever.
Yes, from wherever.
Yeah.
And
You know what I
it's,
mean?
would be easy, the thing about it is, that's what makes like the screens that are here. Like I could put one of these screens anywhere in the town and send the same data to it. You just buy a little extra subscription.
Right.
So that, that may, I just might have thought of something.
I know what you're thinking too.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I gotta.
So, there is a possibility that we could do something different. There would be a place where a lot of people gather,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and, let me look into that.
okay.
I mean, how
Just not,
possible-
again, the majority of the people out there have Facebook and they hit basically those 2 or 3
Yeah.
sites,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they do a good job of reposting stuff that the town posts.
Yeah,
Right.
But to have,
Another means of communication, like we
Correct.
discussed the other night, that's part of our issue, is getting the message out.
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
And if we have to invest a few dollars, these things aren't gonna be extravagant.
no, it's not that. These TVs they're 50-inch TVs, they're $300.
You know,
They're
so,
probably $250 now, and then the extra subscription is about $50 a year.
yeah, then,
In all of these graphics I designed myself out of templates that they provide.
so
So there must be a calendar.
so there's gotta be something
right,
available that we can invest in
Yeah, Yeah.
with not too much,
That's weatherproof.
that's weatherproof,
yeah,
not too much
well, I'm
cost.
thinking this could be indoors,
Oh,
and
okay.
viewable from,
And,
I have an idea.
we
I
recognize.
think I know where you're going.
Yeah,
I have an idea,
Yeah.
this would work, actually.
and we all recognize the fact that communication is key.
Yeah,
Yep.
That is,
It is.
that is the biggest,
Th-
it's the biggest issue really in any,
Any community, I'm sure it's.
from the time I was a buck private in the US Army,
yeah,
intel and communication drive the train. If you
Yeah.
don't have good intel and you don't have communication of that intel out, then you are lost.
You're
the
lost.
great thing is you can control these screens separately from each other.
Yeah.
You'll notice that stuff on these screens are not the same.
Yeah.
Right,
And we have 3 connected to that plan right now, we could add a 4th one, and because we're a
Stage it.
municipality, we got the discount anyway.
stage it elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Okay,
That's-
Chris, you've been around the valley and stuff like that. are we the only ones that seem to have a communication issue, or are there some towns that do things better getting message out than we do, or?
I don't know, I'd say Van Buren is pretty good. I mean, you're talking about those Facebook pages, I mean, I definitely check those. I think a lot of the towns do, police departments, fire departments, they do a pretty good job of getting the word out there.
Okay,
So, I don't know, about average, I'd say, about on par.
all righty.
I think getting a community calendar out there with that people that are not like internet savvy. I have an idea.
Even the one at the school, I mean, you go by it and there's
Yeah.
messages, I mean, you have to stop and read the
Yeah, yeah,
message.
yeah,
Yeah.
Probably, that's kind of little antiquated, but at least
That
they're
hit a
putting,
little.
at least they're putting the message out, you know?
Yeah,
All right, you're the
I'll come back to you with this idea.
You're the
Let me see what
guru
the cost is gonna be.
Okay.
communicating, because you have the forum to do so. More press releases to you, would that be something that would help our cause? Would an
Poor Chris,
Instagram?
he gets flooded by
I would not want to flood you, but I mean, if there's some things that
I don't think we're not sending, he gets everything that's going on here.
you don't.
Yeah.
I didn't get that press release we talked about earlier today, though, but.
It
it's
didn't
not-
come to you?
No, well, you sent it to me. I didn't get it beforehand.
Okay, I'm thinking it went probably to your main office and eventually it'll trickle down to up here.
Yeah.
To somebody from up here.
That could be the case,
Yeah,
but.
that would be my guess, that it just got sent out to all medias and then they'll eventually,
Okay, let me ask you this. Is an Instagram account, Reels, are those effective?
well,
I'm not sure
we
that's
are
not-
already, anything we post on our town Facebook goes to Instagram now.
It does go to Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, I've never seen it, so that's why I'm
We're
asking.
paired to Instagram now.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
If you don't have Facebook, you're not gonna have Instagram.
That was just something, right, that was just something that
Yeah,
was brought to my attention.
I have an
So.
idea. Let me see if I can pull this off.
Okay,
I know technology-wise we can, just.
Okay.
good enough. And that's all I had. We'll move on to nine.
Oh, geez, hold on, just one more thing,
All right.
one more thing. I forgot to mention, believe it or not, the Friday premiere event.
Oh, right.
Yes.
So
Just
just,
$650 on a suit. Tell you what,
you better,
I went right where you
you
went.
better look $650, you better look.
So I had to buy everything. So it better be worth it.
I have to tell you, like, I have watched this video now in its completion about 5 times. I can't watch it without my eyes just getting completely watered. Like, there are so many good quotes in there from people. And I think that Austin captured the vibe of Van Buren in that video and what's happening, and the excitement around what's happening. And it's really good. And I keep teasing Jason Gomez, he's the star of the show. But Jason has 2 different things he says in the video that are actually gonna grip your heart, I'm telling you. Like, just terrific.
Nice.
And it is so well made. The video is so well made. After watching it, I reached out to MPBN to see if they'll air it. And Saturday, I'm gonna send it on to them for their review, but I have all the documents, and I've already submitted all the documents and releases for them. They just have to look at it, but it would show through the year on MPBN, and.
Wow. Awesome.
And, you know, really tell Van Buren's story.
I would put it on YouTube.
What's that?
I would put it on YouTube.
We don't wanna load it on YouTube right away. We're
No,
gonna-
no, but I mean after.
Oh, we will, we'll have it on YouTube.
So that way people can go back
Yeah.
and watch it.
If we're gonna load it first to Facebook, cause it
Yeah,
won't be
yeah,
up on Facebook.
eventually.
Right.
I would put it on YouTube.
But we're gonna have it loaded.
Nice.
It is so professional. It is everything that we hoped it would be, I'm telling you.
Good.
It's everything we hoped it would be. It is very, very good. And,
Awesome.
I think everybody's gonna be really impressed, so.
Excellent.
Would you guys like to see it?
No.
I'll show you Friday.
Well, yeah. At this point, I'm ready, I'm anxiously awaiting Friday.
So I'll show you Friday.
Coming up, Chris?
I'll show you Friday.
It's free?
It is, I might, if I can't get that, I definitely wanna do something on the MPBN,
Yeah,
I think that's newsworthy.
yeah, if they'll take it, I think they will, because I've reviewed all their standards and the different things that they would prohibit, and this is, because it's Maine-based, and it's really not an advertisement, it's really just a story about, you know, community and its history and the, you know, the revitalization of the community. It's really good. You guys are gonna be impressed,
That's good.
yeah. And as far as we know right now, and we're hoping it works, we're gonna be zooming them into
Oh, great.
the space from.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
And
nice.
they are going to be the ones to open it. So they will introduce you to the community.
Nice.
Nice.
And if that.
As it should be.
So we're gonna test
should
it
be.
tomorrow, but he and Mackenzie were filming their opening as a backup plan for me today.
Oh, in case.
So, because there's no internet there.
Right.
So, we're gonna try to tie it to my phone and see if we can Zoom, connect it to the computer,
Mobile hotspot.
mobile
Yeah.
hotspot, and then transmit it to the screen. That could be hit or miss, because then we may not be that well. We're gonna test it tomorrow, we're gonna know tomorrow, so.
Yeah, if you need help with that, I do that all the time with like WHOU.
Yeah, I
I'll
just,
still
I
watch the
think,
basketball games on
the issue is
television.
not like the, how to do it, it's whether we can have enough
Enough
signal
signal
there.
in the building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the issue, like.
Is there anybody else around there that has Wi-Fi that we could just bum off their Wi-Fi?
Steal.
It's the building that's the inhibitor.
Is it?
Yeah, because we could just grab the ambulance.
Oh,
That's
right.
right, that's right, they're right there.
Yeah, but it's the building that's the issue.
Okay.
So we're.
We run an ethernet cable from the ambulance to the.
We're hoping to get it worked out. We're gonna test it tomorrow. Regardless, they were filming the introduction from the.
Just in case.
Because, you know, Austin told me basically, Van Buren's the one place we've been to that felt more home than places I've lived in my life. Like, I loved being there. People were so nice to us, and really just had so many awesome things to say, and they were super excited that we would ask them to, you know, present it and kind of.
Only appropriate.
Yeah.
It's only
Only
appropriate.
appropriate.
They absolutely, they did great work while they were here, and they're
Yeah.
great people.
The
Yeah.
film is really, the filming and the way the interviews are cut and just everything that they did, it's really good. It's more than I expected, better than, I'm telling you, it's better than you were hoping.
Awesome.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to bring some sunglasses.
Mm. Yeah, it's gonna make you feel pretty damn proud. I can
Mission
tell you that.
accomplished. I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to public comments.
I'm all set. Luke, if I do have any questions, would you be available like through email or something like
Yeah,
that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, probably a pretty
Awesome.
good day tomorrow. So, yeah, morning especially.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'll send out the email for the Drexel Design Studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try to remember
Right,
to.
and then anybody else that wants to, like, you know, if they're looking for community input. and, so.
Sounds good. All right, we'll move on to 10 then. Executive session for economic development.
Yeah, I have several things I wanna go through.
All right. Entertain a motion to move into executive session.
Wait till.
Make a motion, we enter executive session?
No, second. All right, motion by Peter, seconded by Paul, moving executive session for economic development under 1 MSRA 4056C. All those in favor? Motion carries.
1909.
1909.
Hey, Chris, thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
out of executive session.
So moved.
All right, motion by Paul,
I'll second.
seconded by Ann. All right, we'll exit executive session at 19:57.
Okay, I'll make the motion, I'd like to make motion that we approve the expense of up to $10,000 for the revitalization of the Economic Development Office, from funds to come
Undesignated.
undesignated funds.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries. Not
And
seeing-
seconded?
I did.
Yes. Not seeing any other business, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Okay?
I'll second it.
Motion to adjourn at
1958.
19:58. All those in favor? Motion carries.
We gotta sign something.
Yes, we have to
Just a
sign
couple
that.
things, two things.
I'm all about the signing these days. I got a stack waiting for Kent at the office.
That happens.
Yep. Wow, we're closing at 1 tomorrow.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay.
Winter weather.
Oh,
Oh, that really, yeah.
1, 2,
I'm ready.
3, 4.
There's only four
Yeah,
tonight.
Well, that just means,
Yeah, but it should be 5 slots, right?
yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
that came from them.
Okay.
That's not my own document.
Okay.
that just means I have to pack up my computer and work from home, because it's a half a day, and I telework, I have the availability to telework.
Yeah.
There's two documents to sign, yeah.
Hey, speaking of, are we, we're still live, huh?
Yeah.
We'll shut that off.
Okay. Did you see a check yet from?
Not yet.
Have you
But
checked the mailbox?
I didn't check the